So we're here at Heirloom Expo, and Sarah just came into our booth, and we're going into this one cold.
Yes.
So what were you talking about with Sharon?
Oh, I was letting her know that I have a front yard garden for my neighbors, and
Neat.
and I live right behind right behind an elementary school. So there's all this traffic with children. Oh, what's in the camera?
It's okay, you're good.
And so because I have all this traffic with children, then I thought to myself, oh, this would be wonderful for them to have fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and just see how food grows. And so it's free. It's you walk by, you can have it. I don't know. It's something I thought of, and it does have a name. It's called Petra's Patch, and a little sign, and all the food is labeled. And so I just encourage any neighbors and everything that walks around to help themselves. And so if they happen to walk in compliment, I'll just say, it's for you to have, help yourself. So I'm just hopeful that's
You're hopeful that what?
that it influences other people to create a little front yard garden, and or have children and adults know where food comes from instead of going to the grocery store.
Did you have you seen many kids come by and
Yes, and it's cute because it's like the textures of the food, just the touch of them. Like this one little kid touched a Black Beauty zucchini, but it had that little fuzz. As soon as he touched it, he was like, "Oh, I don't like the way this touches, feels." But then he went to the cucumbers, loved the cucumbers, and so he was picking some, and the cherry tomatoes, he was eating them, and so they left with a whole little array of vegetables and. Who knows? Yeah.
That is so exciting.
It is really exciting.
So how did you think to do this?
Well, I have a garden in my backyard, and I do the back to Eden method, which is like very low maintenance. And so I was just bored in a sense. And so I thought, oh yeah, this is a great path. And then the way the sun kind of casts over, I thought, okay, if I could do this and this. And what I did was just a real narrow walkway, just a real narrow path. But it's so dense that, I've got corn growing. I did the Three Sisters method, so I had the corn with the beans going up and the squash along the bottom, and 2 areas were different tomatoes, and it's just beautiful. Yeah, so
They're so exciting. So where do you live?
I live in Sacramento, California.
Oh, that's not that far from me. Very cool. Very cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Thank
So
you.
have you have any of your neighbors been inspired to do anything?
I can't say for sure. I don't know. A lot of them mention that they have their gardens in their backyard, and so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just hopeful that they come, and I'm grateful that they do see it, they admire it, and they pick from it, because I've got my own going on in the backyard. So it's like, please take the food, because I don't want it to go bad or anything. And it's not the case. And this one neighbor, her and her husband have meatless Mondays. So she comes and gets zucchinis, and I have zucchini, squash, just several different kinds. Yeah, and it's really nice. So now I'm getting ready for fall, so it's time for that. Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this?
I started in the front yard, the end of, must have been March. Like at the end of, right when I was like, oh, okay, just antsy because of how my garden is prosperous, and I keep going years. I've been there 5 years, so I've had a 5-year garden, and I do the succession gardening, but I was just bored, and I was just like, oh yeah, so I just had a vision. And along my front walkway, I have strawberries. And so when it's hot, just a little, a secret for all, when it's hot, it makes your house smell like strawberries because the warmth of the heat.
Cool.
You open your front door and it's like, ooh, strawberries.
That is so cool.
Because of the and Sacramento's heat, it's crazy.
Yeah, I live in Chico, so same thing. Yeah. So the fan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, how does it feel when you see a kid get
It's
excited?
like unbelievable almost, and it's educating, and they're more just like, what is that, or they identify it, and then they're just like, why is it growing there, and my nephew was over last weekend, and he's only 4, and I showed him carrots, but he's seen it's not ready for harvest yet, but he's seen the crown of the carrot, and he was like, Auntie, that's where a carrot comes from, and he would never know it came from the ground, if it wasn't for a garden. And I found out he doesn't like tomatoes, so he was like, no, and that's good that, they're able to know, tell the difference in what they like. So
Cool.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool. Well, I just love this.
Oh,
I just
thank you.
love this. And I'll share that I live with my daughter, and
Okay.
she does the same thing. So she's got berries and stuff and
Yes.
grapes, and the kids come over and they pick the stuff, and it creates community. Too.
Yes, that
Yeah.
too. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely,
It's so
absolutely.
cool.
I had one neighbor who was waiting on the watermelon it's like, is it almost ready? I said, it's almost ready, but don't be surprised if it's gone. So you keep
Yep.
eye on
Yep,
it,
yep, yep, yep.
because it's for anyone to have at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And the other cool thing that's happening is that a couple of other yards
Uh-huh.
are starting to have front yard gardens too. So my
Yes.
guess is that the longer you do that,
Yes.
yeah, you might have more folks.
Okay. Even
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's a planter box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It's just so much fun.
Yes, it is.
Well, I want to thank you so
you're
much
welcome.
for sharing your story with
Thank
us.
you.
That is like so cool.
Yeah.
And so thank you for stopping by.
Yes,
And if you like what you've heard, then click on the subscribe button below, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye. Whoops, did that wrong.